energy.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this, man. This is Marquis Walker, aka Severe, aka Severely Yours, man. This is the THHC podcast, episode 128, man. We here with Thought Provokah, man. We're gonna be talking about his album, his newest project, I Let My Tape Rock Till My Tape Pop, man. It's perfect timing because Biggie just we celebrated Biggie's passing the other day. And it's just kind of like the energy is great to be listening to this, man. Right. How you doing, first of all? What's going on?
Scratching and surviving, good times.
Scratching and surviving. Now you gotta be thinking about Dave Chappelle when he was doing that skit.
Yeah, just day by day, just trying to be better. Just living, man. Living as best I can out here. Trying to love the people I love, and trying to staying on this journey of music, man. It's great to be a part of this community. I love what y'all doing with these artists, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. SP, are you there? What's going on, Queen?
I'm
SP,
here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, everything's good.
Okay.
Everything's good. Better than I deserve.
Before we spark this off, I gotta give credit to SP Thought Provokah because she introduced me to you, and she's been your number one fan, and I have to go number two now because she'll put me in a headlock if I say I'm number one fan. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going for that. But tell us about yourself a little bit, man. Where you're from? What's going on? How'd you get into the business a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the show.
Well, Thought Provokah out the 845 NYC. Born in Harlem, lived all throughout New York City, upstate New York, 845 area, Poughkeepsie, Newburgh, Middletown, Port Jervis, Harlem, Brooklyn, Bronx. Like I've been like a traveling nomad, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, as moving from place to place. I got into music. Actually, I got into music because of my pops, because what I would find is we were going on these long trips. Like my dad was an older guy, born in the 30s. And he would play like Isaac Hayes, if y'all remember, like Hot Buttered Soul, Isaac Hayes. Like,
oh yeah.
By the time I get to Phoenix, the song is like 6 minutes, and he gonna talk for like 4. And he would play, yeah, well, like, let me tell you about my childhood real quick. And it's forever, right? So what I started to find at an early age is like, oh, the stuff my dad is playing, I can hear some of the samples in hip hop. So that's how I started getting into it. I can hear like similarities in the music.
Yeah. We stole everything from soul. We stole everything from James Brown to Eddie to Chuck Berry. Anybody you could think of, man, that had some soul, man. We was stealing their music, man. Stop playing. But it equated to the beautiful thing we call the genre hip hop now, man. And it is the 50th year of hip hop, man. What do you think about that? I'm gonna talk about the people in the chat real quick. But what do you think about the 50th year of hip hop, man? This is a big year for hip hop.
I mean, man, I can't express how much like hip hop has meant like to my life, and it's been life preserving and life saving at moments. It's kept my mental health in check. It's kept my perspective of the world in check and broadened my perspective of it. You know what I mean? So for a genre that they thought was a fad to last 50 years is beautiful, and to have some of the forefathers and groundbreakers still alive, so that you can pull from that wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
is beautiful. So I'm just happy to be in the mix of it all. What I would always tell myself in another 50 years, if somebody has mentioned my name, that I've done my job.
Oh man, don't you have to wait for that, man? People mention your name right now. Look at that in the chat. Thought, salute. This is Jeff from Dartmouth, Mass. Salute. He says salute to Thought, salute to and peace to SP, man. He's from Dartmouth, Mass. It's funny because I'm from Massachusetts. So I keep saying, yo, he's one of the
peace.
Fact checkers in the chat. He's always on board, man. Great dude.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have a beer with him. I gotta shower it up with this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I gotta get with this dude. He said salute to New York. But before we get into your album, man, you know, look, great title, great album, great messages. You know, everything that's going on with this project is just grand. It's Friday, man. It's Friday, man. We got some hey, we got some artists coming out. You know, it's Friday, people coming out.
Right.
Taj or Thought, not Taj, SP or I'm reading the thing before I even SP or Thought Provokah. Did y'all listen to anything new today? Any of you guys?
I didn't get a chance to check, but I'm definitely checking that Trifecta. I'm checking that Jim Jones, you know, Numbs and Furious Style. Shout out to them. I'm definitely checking that. I have the app on Luminary to check out the Talib and Madlib. I definitely want to get to that. I kind of choose Fridays when I'm not, you know, running frantic as my days to like lock in and listen to albums. I don't like to give albums casual listens.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of a disrespect to the artist that put the time in. And then once I give it a critical listen, then I like to go purchase it. I always like to reciprocate, you know what I'm saying, and be a part of the community that actually purchases works, because I know what it takes and how much it can actually cause to put out an album. And a lot of us are coming out at a loss. So my thing is, if you love an artist and you say you love that artist, financially support that artist.
Support them.
You know,
go to Bandcamp, go to their website, buy the vinyl. Like, I do that all the time, man. It's you know, it's funny with me. It's so many artists that I listen to. I can't support them all, so I gotta kind of limit myself because I'll be broke, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But you know what I'm saying. But I do try to support them by like get them on the show. You know, retweeting them or something like that. Try to do at least something for each artist. SP, have you listened to anybody on this list before I start quoting them off?
Of course, I listen to Numbs and Furious Style. That's probably the only one I've listened to so far, but I am so excited to listen to Taj Malik's project. I really want to hear that one a lot.
I've been watching for quite a bit, and he's been tearing up the charts, man. So let's start it off. So number one is Taj Malik. He got a new album called Music is Poetry. It's only on Bandcamp for this week. I think next week is coming out on all digital platforms, but I already bought the album. Like you said, I support if I can. I think Taj Malik is a very beautiful lyricist. He takes the craft seriously like yourself. And he self-produced his whole album. And he, all bars, all lyrics, like it's substance. It's not just nigga this, nigga that. I got a gun. It's not gun bars. It's bars. It's like his life. It's like you like, is this dude gonna run out of things to say? Because you be thinking like his people that don't live that street life, their life's not that interesting. But his life is just as interesting as anybody else's, just like yours. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot to spit about, and that's what Taj Malik is doing on this song and just all his records. We talked about number 2, Furious Styles and Numbs, Trifecta. These are actual friends of ours now. I talk to them on the phone sometimes. They not just released the album digital. They actually have an album. So go get the vinyl. They got the link on Twitter and on Instagram, wherever you follow them at. Go. I ordered the vinyl. Like you said, if you like somebody, you support them. Go buy the vinyl. Go buy the digital. Whatever you got to do. So I already ordered it. You know what I mean? So I ain't playing around. Yeah, SP, you got something to say? You
just dope. I just love them so much, both of them. Yeah. I don't care what they drop. I'm going to listen every single time.
They haven't missed yet. They've been working together for like 2-3 years, and they, and the chemistry, you could feel the chemistry like evolving, right? You know what I'm saying? Jeff says he likes if you got any new albums we should be checking out, put them in there, man. He says go check out Iron Sheik, Black Adam 2, Bronx, New York artist. Okay, it's on the screen. We'll get back to it, but go back to it and check it out, and we will check it out. See what's going on. Thanks for sharing.
Already.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Number 3, Conway and Jay Skis is Jay Skis is a Conway the Machine artist. He's in this camp. They came out with a joint album called Pain Provided Profit. I listened to it once. I got to get back to it. I listened to Taj Malik like 3-4 times. I listened to Furious Styles and Numbs like 3 or 4 times. And then, but Conway and everybody else probably listen to once. Number 4, you mentioned Thought Provokah earlier. Jim Jones, the Hitmaker. I listened to this. It's called Back in My Prime. I listened to this once. It's a great project. I really like. I know, man. SP fight about Jim Jones a lot. I like Jim Jones, man. Like Jim Jones, ever since he worked with the Heatmakers. It seemed like he stepped up his pen game. I don't know if somebody's writing for him, but he stepped up his game.
The Harry Fraud
with music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to me it seems like he has improved in this season of his life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because the early seasons of his life, he got on my nerves. But
SP, you gotta really, if you really research these artists, see, stop playing.
Oh, man.
Jim Jones, listen, hold on. Jim Jones was never a rapper. He was never a rapper. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I understand that. I know that.
Rapper in the crew. Like, he was just chilling with the crew. Like, you know what I'm saying? For him to never be a rapper and now to be rapping like this.
Man.
I told you she be clouding people. She can't even give him a compliment. Look at that. Lord have mercy. Anyway, let's go. We'll move on, right? I haven't heard this musical genius in a while. Music Soul Child collabs with Hit Boy called Victims and Villains. Man, I listened to this part like 3 times too, man. R&B. I had to listen to this early in the morning to get my spirit right. But yeah, Music Soul Child's back on the scene with Hit Boy called Victims and Villains. I recommend you guys check that out. Number 6.
Yeah, I've been missing him.
Okay. Oh yeah, you got some.
Yeah, I've been missing him. I put a post up about Music Soul Child about a week ago just because, I was missing him. I went back into his catalog and I just started listening all over again. I was like, dang, I miss him a lot.
Well, he's back and this album is great. It's a great album. So y'all go check that out if you're into that R&B, that singing, that love making music. You know what I'm saying? It's back, baby. Number 6 is Cam Ferris, produced by Counterfeit. Me and SP actually interviewed Counterfeit on the Formula podcast. So y'all go check out that episode. He's a producer, great producer. They put out an album called Paths. So y'all go check that out. Number 7 is, we talked about that too, Talib Kweli and Madlib. It's called Liberation 2, and it's only on Luminary exclusive. It's a Luminary exclusive, so you got to get like downloaded an app. Is it an app?
Yeah,
what is it? An app?
Yeah, but actually the pod is pretty dope, man.
The podcast is dope. I heard it's dope. I be hearing the clips.
And most definitely, that's dope, man. I'm definitely going to support that financially and give it a listen. I'm most def is my 1A, you know what I'm saying, and Talib is one of my top 25, so I'm definitely gonna get it. You know
now that's dope, because like a lot of people underrate Talib Kweli, and I never have. I think he's a great lyricist. I think he's dope, and I think maybe a lot of people clash his personality with his music, and you can't do that. You can't do that.
Listen,
you can't do that. You can't do that. You just
I don't know him personally to hate on him. Like I think as artists, we look from the outside looking in, and we totally invest ourselves in like denuding and constantly land blasting somebody or going along with the peanut gallery. You know how that goes.
Thank you.
And I don't do that. I'm listening to the music for what it is. I don't get into the tabloid fodder. That's for everybody else. I'm here for the music.
And that's what people get confused about. You know what I'm saying? SP. No, I'm saying the name.
I don't be confused. Me and Talib Kweli followed each other and on Twitter, and I love him to death, but he is exhausting. Exhausting.
Here we go. Next, we go on next. No, SP. Come on, SP.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I love him. I love his message. I love his music. You can't miss me on none of that. But in in the human world, he is exhausting. But that's okay because he make dope music. So that's
SP,
all that matters for this
wait,
podcast.
SP, can I have a chance to interview him on this show maybe in the future, please? Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Everything that SP says is not sponsored by the THHC podcast. I got to get one of them goddamn things to put up.
The disclaimers, right?
Hey, yeah, dog. What the hell's going on, dog? Let's go check in with the chat real quick. What's up? Salute to Ben Frank. Hashtag Ben Frank, man. SP, man, you gotta relax. That's why you think that sign's behind it. It's not because of me, dog. But maybe Max B probably ghost wrote writing for Jim in jail. He might, hey, Max B might be ghost writing for him. That's a good observation. Free Max B. I think he's getting out this year.
Yeah, Ben Frank, April. I heard April. So.
You do got a fan. They all laughing at you, SP, man, but you gotta stop clowning. You gotta stop.
I'm not clowning him. I love Talib Kweli.
He's just
okay.
Yeah.
Can I meet the guy one day, please?
Dude.
Lord have mercy.
He's a good dude. He's but when he go in for like months.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, I don't know. I don't know, but listen. Like I said, I don't mix, business and pleasure, man. Like that's his pleasure, man, to be doing all that, man. Let's go to number 8, the Mussolini and producer John Dutch. Gentleman of Leisure. Now, the Mussolini's been on a rampage with music, man. I like Mussolini.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta have a variety of music. SP,
right.
Like sometimes we listen to the pimp music, sometimes we listen to thought Provokah for the positive messages. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we gotta get PM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the last one. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that. The Mussolini.
Hey, I'm listening to it because that's my shit. I love a good pimp.
see what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Like you gotta explain what you say. Like what are you? My God,
I do.
I thought I was the only one drinking. Did you look like you drinking something? What are you doing, man?
No, I'm completely sober. But I do. I love that music. I love, I'm from the South. I love a good pimp sound.
Yeah, that's right. Her first, because we're doing the classic albums only on this show now for the 50th year on this podcast when we're not having guests. Your first one was UGK. So that was the first classic album she picked, was a UGK album. The one that actually you have on your album cover, you know what I'm saying, in the background on the poster.
Yeah.
Right and dirty.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
yeah.
That fits the bill, man.
Boy. Hey, that was my first experience of Southern music was UGK.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
See.
Gotta represent.
Already.
Y'all ready, man? It's time, man, to get into the bulk of the situation, man. The bulk of the sandwich, man. It's the THHC podcast, episode 128, man. We got Thought Provokah on deck, man. Like again, I appreciate you coming through, man. This is gonna be beautiful, man. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Talk about why you named it that first before we get into the album, because you know what I'm saying, the album's beautiful. I want to get into it, but talk about the title real quick. Give us some background on the title.
Well, the title actually was dedicated to Big. I let my tape rock till my tape pop because Big was so instrumental in our lives in the city. I was living in Harlem River Projects at the time. I was living in Harlem, and it was just, it's in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast, beef. I'm a young kid, and all I heard was either Ready to Die or Life After Death, and I had to take both of them from my brother at the time because he wasn't trying to give them up. My mom
he's got to steal it, right? I know you have to take it.
Word. My mom's had a CD player. She had the Crazy, Sexy, Cool, and all that in there.
TLC, yep.
You know what I'm saying? The Groove Theory, had to fling that out real quick.
Oh, Groove Theory, yeah. Bang. Yep, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And put that in, but I let my tape rock till my tape pop is also an ode to letting tapes and albums run the whole way through, listening to it, giving stuff an actual listen. Don't be like a momentary, you know what I'm saying, like phlegmatic listener. You got to tap in and you got to give artists that actually are putting out great art the respect to listen to their projects. You know what I mean? And running it over and over again. You know, some things you don't run with just for the season. It may be, you know, your whole life you're gonna run with that album. And
Yeah.
I think even with the oversaturation of music, some people say, I think it's great because there's so many things that you can pick from. There's so many albums that you can listen to and put on, and it could be the soundtrack to your life. So that was basically I let my tape rock to my tape pop. Let the albums play, give the artist the respect that creates dope art, and listen to it in full.
Well, man, SP had a discussion recently. I think it was maybe it was on our last podcast, SP, on we was talking about how artists or just people in general don't have first of all an attention span to listen to an album that's like 45 minutes or above, right?
Right.
They're used to these 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, maybe even 15-minute albums. They calling them, I'm like, albums. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, like we didn't spend our money for an album unless it was like over 15 tracks or more.
Right.
Albums back in the day was 20 tracks or more. You know what I'm saying? And they had plenty of time to not develop a classic, but a lot of them were classics if you really think about it. Like, you know, we still talk about them to this day, man. And Biggie, you know, Ready to Die, no, Life After Death was what, 24, 25 songs or something like that, something ridiculous like that. We still calling it a classic. So like you gotta like you said, you gotta play this music, you gotta listen to it, you gotta have a good attention span. And me and SP are ready for it, man. That's why we were ready for this album. So let me introduce it, man, properly. Thought Provokah. I let my tape rock till my tape pop, man. You know what I'm saying? Is it Port Jervis? Is that where you from?
I lived in Port Jervis most of my life, yeah.
So that's kind of what you're claiming, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to Port Jervis, man. New York, man, from Boston, and SP's from Texas. You know what I'm saying? This album came out January 6th, 2023, man. 48 minutes, 54 seconds, basically 49 minutes. Get your attention span up, kids. Stop playing, man. Let's get into it, man. You ready, SP? Let's get into it, man. Number one, put that tape in and listen, man. So this took me back to when cassette tapes were a thing. DJs and podcasters nowadays are introducing the album. That's what's going on right now. On your on the intro. SP, what do you get on one of the first intros? This is not just the first intro. This is like one of the first intros on this project. It's like there. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, put the tape in and listen, damn it. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. That's the truth. That's the crux of
it. I can't with her, man. But yeah.
I've heard people look at the album and be like, "Oh, that's 45 minutes. I can listen to that." And I'm like, put the motherfucker in and listen. You know, quit tripping. Yeah. So put tape in and listen. I love the intro. I really love. Who is that? You?
Where we're doing with the beats. What?
You might be talking about part two, number two, because number two is Insight. I know I was gonna ask him if Insight was him, but
no, I mean,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Insight.
No, that's number two. But that's number
number two.
Oh, Insight isn't me. That's my homie Benji from Brooklyn, lifetime friend. We started rapping together. He's like the J Electronica, can really rap, really rap, but he ain't for all other business. But if I call him to rap, he gonna rap. You know what I mean? So that's Insight for you.
But Provokah, before you go to number two, because I didn't even introduce it. She's skipping tracks.
Good.
Let's go back to number one. Put that tape in and listen. What's going on with that track right there? That intro.
The intro was by my dude Dumbo, who I've done Can I Rap For You with, who I've done I'm Good with, and we actually had that intro for like 2-3 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And I wanted it to be a tape mix, so I took something from YouTube where you stop and eject, and then took Biggie's voice, chopped that up, put it in there, and I wanted it to be also a celebration of those that supported me. So I got my man Rudy from WVCC Radio. You know, also ProFresh Publicity, my publicist. I want to give a shout out there. Samantha Lavelle from Certified Nation and all that. Like she did something for me. And my man DJ Glipstyle. So you know they're talking about, you know, they gave a drop on there, and it's over a Blaze beat. You know,
Oh, okay.
he mixed all the voices together, did the I Let My Tape Rock Till My Tape Pop intro and everything. So yeah, he put that all together.
Yeah, that got me hyped, man. Like intros like that, like get you hyped, you know what I'm saying, for the project, man. So that, you know, that's, you did a good job with that. Number 2 is Insight says, please listen. So this is Insight, like you explained about Insight earlier. So I say Insight letting you know to listen as well. So he's basically like, you know, the second kind of intro, and he's basically like, he's gonna be kind of like, you know, this brings me back to, you know, speaking of, you know, great intros or great skits. You know, we talked about, you know, recently De La Soul got their rights back,
right?
And, you know, everyone's celebrating De La Soul's legacy. So they had a lot of great skits and stuff like that. So it seemed like Insights on here give you some great skits and just, you know, kind of like introducing the album, you know, checking in on us. It's dope. So number 2, Insight says, please listen. SP, what do you think about number 2? This is the one you were actually talking about. You did? Where'd she go? Oh Lord! All right, what? Doc,
sorry about that.
Oh, there you go.
I was trying to find out who's dude.
Who what?
Whose dude that was on whose voice that was?
Oh, he's about to explain it. So yeah.
Oh, now Insight, like that's my homie from Brooklyn, longtime friend. We actually started rapping together, be at the lunch table, just writing punchlines or whatever. So I wanted him a part of it because he's a part of the musical journey and the maturation of music, and it's always somebody that, you know what I'm saying, I can test my pen against, you know, iron sharpens iron, you know, steel sharpens steel. So we always like, you know, cultivated our styles together. So yeah, that's my homie been my friend damn near 20 years.
Well, salute to him, and yo, get him to rap, because you say he rap like Jay Electronica. We want to hear this dude rap, man. Maybe y'all
he rapping on there. He's rapping too.
Oh, I don't see it. Well, maybe like, you know what it is, when I do the research, I don't see, like, maybe it don't say featuring.
Well, he did. What happened was when he says, Insight says, please listen, the character, he's Benji. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, same dude. Same.
All right, see, okay, now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, like, what do you mean he's rapping? I'm like, where's where? Now I'm looking at my notes going, what? Okay, that's what's up. You got me on that. And this is why we like to have the artists and the producers on here, because they can actually explain it. Because sometimes me and SP dissect albums, and they gotta be 100% correct, but it is what it is. You know, we got the information, whatever we got.
Right.
Let's go to number 3, man. What happened to the intro? Oh, who's that? Is that New York Sirens or where? Who's that?
I mean, that's not me.
Who's that? SP, that your Sirens? That even me? Somebody got the side. Where'd she go? Oh Lord. Something's going on with SP. Something's going on with SP's connection. Y'all hopefully, hopefully
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Let's get back into the album, man. Shout out to Ben Frankie says yes, salutes and RIP, you know, to Dave, man. Stop playing, man. No, it says stop playing. Matter of fact, let's talk about since, you know, while we wait for SP real quick. What's your connection with De La Soul? Did you grow up with them too? Did they make an impact on your life?
Oh my God, man! I was just listening to the Balloon Theory joint. Oh my God, like it's to me. I know everybody loves Stakes is High, but Ego Trip is just so.
No. Ego Trip is one of my favorites too, dog. Like I'm gonna tell you something. I think they got at least, I don't know how many albums they got, but I'm gonna say they got at least 4, 5, 6 classics. And I don't got to name them now, but they got some classics.
Millie, De La Soul is dead. Millie put
Balloon State's one of them. Yeah, Balloon State's one of them. Yeah.
Like at that hurt, man. Cause the other day I'm walking just casually walking, and I'm listening to Stakes is High, and Dave's verse come on, and I'm like, damn, like I got like for a fraction of a second.
Yeah, you got the Jordan. You did the Jordan? Did you do the Jordan?
Yeah. I was just like, that hurts, man. But
nah, man, yeah. Great.
De La Soul made me feel like I didn't have to be the toughest nigga at the party to go, you know what I'm saying, to make some music. You can Mace will punch you in the face. Mace can box. Like
I was gonna say, I was gonna lead off. No, wait. I was gonna lead off. I was gonna say, even though they were tough, because a lot of people thought they wasn't.
Yeah. Mace
had to find out.
Mace will knock you out, so you better relax. So they
hell yeah, 100%, man. All right, SP, you back? What's going on, girl? You back with us?
Yeah, it's the hood. It's what happens.
Hey, we heard the police. We thought you was on a run. We said, oh shit. We said SP
Nah,
on
that
the
was
run,
the ambulance.
No,
that was the ambulance. They always show up first.
Yeah. All of a sudden your camera go off, meet the police. Yeah, okay, SP, we know what's going on over there. All right, no, SP, we talk about number 3.
You know me.
What happened to the intro, man? This is let me spark it off. So this is produced by Dumbo, man. I like Dumbo, man. This dude's ill. I call it the third intro. Actually brings introspective verbal heat over a 2-minute toe tapping track that gives you an array of substance. Okay. SP, what do you think about number 3? What happened to the intro?
So the golf scheme was dope, and talking about your journey through your childhood, and avoiding the streets, growing up in an environment that doesn't allow growth, and finally hearing a Black Sheep case, because I think that's a lot of people's stories. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always tell people when we say hip hop saved us, it hit different. It hit different. It's not like we're using hyperbole. It literally saved a lot of our lives.
100%.
So I love what happened to the intro, because a black sheep tape changed your path, and my cousin playing the house parties and the DJs and the rappers, to me, that he recorded, over his mama's Shirley Caesar tapes over the phone.
Oh, hey, gotta get how you live. That's beautiful.
I got my ass whooped for them long distance phone calls to hear that music. But when we say it saved us, it hit different. It kept us. It getting hip hop in Texas was like a full-time job. So it wasn't like you was just able to go outside and just grab a tape. You had to beg somebody, somebody had to be bootlegging tapes, from out of state on the corner, and you take your chances on the corner that they own.
Listen, there's a quick story though. In Brooklyn, over in the Ville in Brownsville, you ain't trying to bootleg an MOP tape because they'll beat up bootleggers. Like, it's real. It's real out here.
Oh yeah.
You remember the Tupac joints, and Tupac was like, you saw the recent one with ODB. They was so
they was coming up on people, dog. No. They was going up to the vendors, whoever.
You risking your life because there's money out their pocket. So, like, with the story that she's telling about, like, catching the bootleggers, like, you could get ran down on. It is a 24-hour-a-day job hustle, but also a fear for your life, because the artist may pull up in your city and be like, "Yo, this my tape. What are you doing?"
Wasn't nobody coming to San Antonio.
Nah.
Well, they were coming to Boston. I know that.
Nobody coming way down here to San Antonio.
They had it in the trunk though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
it took them a while. It took them a while to figure out that we was money.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah, that's love, man. Let's go to number 4. Boys Meets World, produced by Emani. The jazz background gives Mr. Provokah room to remote control through the song, quoting television's finest and classic shows, man. SP, where you going with Boys Meets World, man? Number 4, I like this track too. What's up?
So the 80s sitcom scheme build up to a space where by the time he was an adult, he was already a savage. Ben Savage, the star of Boy Meets World, I was like, this is so dope. This is so cool.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Because I can't remember how many of us had a crush on Ben Savage, or how many boys had a crush on Topanga.
Topanga, yeah, Topanga. I remember Topanga. That was that was
Yeah.
Lord, she going back.
Yeah, I was Chef's Kiss. I was like, shout out to some of what I loved about this particular song was the way you shouted out some of my favorite family sitcoms like Step by Step and Growing Pains, while using these picture perfect families to show as juxtaposition for the reality of growing up in the hood.
Exactly.
Really dope.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to, because I have lived in two worlds like most of everybody hates Chris. So being in one area in Harlem and then living in Port or Minnesink and all these small little enclaves and not being, being misunderstood, then you saw what it was on TV, and then you wished you got it. And then when you have it, but you still have the mentality like, you can take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person. I was, my dad worked at the post office and we was living in this blue house. But at the same time, you come in the house, my mom's still using laundry detergent for soap, like it's like we still pour whatever, saving soap balls or whatever.
Yeah.
The drawer filled with plastic bags.
Bags. Oh, they're the bags.
Like it's not, and you can't call her phone after 9. Don't come knocking on my door like the police. And it's foreign to those because they're just like, I'm just knocking to hear people, to let people hear. But in her mind, it's just like, oh, they coming to get somebody. Like, who got in trouble? Just got in trouble? Like, my brother got in trouble? So it's still taking that mentality with you. And the juxtaposition of it is, I'm just taking all these experiences all the way to wherever I'm living at. To wherever I'm living at, I'm still that kid in Harlem River. I'm still that kid in the Bronx. I'm still that kid that lived in Queens. I just changed area codes. Like they said,
Yeah.
Go, there you are. You know what I mean?
You can take the boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the homeboy.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah. Let's go to number 5, man. Dare Kids Interlude, man. Blank Thought production, man. The track has daring energy, while Thought Provoker dares us to take worldly chances as he does the same. Live and don't regret life, man. Is the message I got. Number 5, SP. What do you think about Dare Kids Interlude?
Drug abuse resistance education. I still think Nancy Reagan should be in prison for that.
Come on, man. What president shouldn't be behind bars?
I think all the people who come to, all these rich folks who come to the hood and try to tell us how wrong we are and how wrong we living without experiencing the life, should be lined up and get a taste of what it's like. They should be forced to live in the hood for like a year. and then see if they come out the same way with a good advice that they always trying to toss at people.
Yeah, exactly.
So I this is another one that I love because I was one of those kids with with that they tried to force dare on and make you snitch on your parents. If anybody in your house has any of these, this is what this drug looks like, and this is what this drug looks like. And hey, you send your own parents to the penitentiary. They are evil and they are the devil and they need to be destroyed.
Lord, get off your soapbox, but Lord have mercy, that's good. But Lord have mercy, she be preaching, boy.
I'm with it. That was my energy with that song, man. Biden, yeah, you know, if you saw my post about Biden and you know how I'm coming, like I really like lived through the crack era, like growing up in the 90s, born in 88. So, you know, seeing like my grandma's cable would go out. So all I had was C-SPAN. And you know, my grandmama had Alzheimer's, my birth mom's out on the street. So all I could do is watch C-SPAN, and it made me at like 5, 6, 7. It made me understand like political dialogue. So when they would bring them bills to the Senate floor and all this, I'm like, what are they talking about? 94 crime bill, or what are they talking about? Prison industrial complex. Like I knew what those terms meant at an early age. I was precocious like that. So when we finally got to like the Dare programs in like the fifth grade, and I'm in Maple Hill Elementary over in Middletown, and a lot of the kids don't understood why I was emotional about it, because I understood like what you're doing to. I understood that you're dropping drugs into these neighborhoods. Like if you read books like Gary Reb and all these things, you know, you hear about the triangle trade that they had with the Contras and the guns coming from Iran, and then the drugs being put into South Central. You know, a soft adaptation is Snowfall, but if Singleton was alive, a lot of things would have been heavier. You know what I'm saying? A lot more of the context and the content of the show Snowfall would have been heavier. But I think a lot of it got sanitized, if you ask me. I love Snowfall, but I think a lot of it got sanitized because of this passing. But Dare Kids was my reality, what I lived through, seeing crack vials, seeing heroin needles. I still see crackheads to this day. I go outside, go to the CVS, there's a crackhead waiting outside. But the campaign to dehumanize people based on their addiction was started because of us. And then when the opioid crisis happened in the suburbs, they wanted us to humanize them, but didn't have the human decency to humanize us. They just locked us up and used us to build corporations and private prisons and everything else. So Dare Kids is close to my heart because that is a reality for a lot of us who grew up with parents who were out there strung out. And the messages that they would bring these people into the schools and tell us, you know, the people that you grew up with are savages, but the soccer mom sitting in her kitchen on all types of prescribed medications is somehow better than us.
No,
They
100%. Okay.
They called us animals and barbarians and um it was a lot, and it wasn't fair, and the bad part about it is we weren't there's a lot of people who aren't politically savvy, who weren't politically savvy, and a lot of the black community supported the crime bill because they didn't understand the impact. You know, so that was a hard. It was a hard time because you watch families be torn apart, and now you just have fatherless kids everywhere,
Right.
and
Let's
some motherless kids, and then we just have grandparents raising kids all over again. So yeah,
not to cut it short, but
that song hit me. That song hit me hard.
not to cut it short, but this is a long album, and you know we can go on and on for days and talk about the society and how we are under the gun in a sense, and not just you know. Here's my thing. My last take before we go to the next song. You got to think about this, yo. Like you know, it's not about the blame game, blaming whites, blaming blacks. Listen, we are informed. Whatever we know now, they knew 30, 45, 50 years ago. They are in control. Whoever got the money controls the hell out of us. We just got to figure it out. I mean, I don't even know if we could because they're so ahead of us with technology and anything you could think of and planning. Yes, they plan the drugs in the community. Yes, they plan to get more prisons and enslave us again. Yeah, they did. We know all that stuff. This is great. This is great information. But it's like we are so behind on the 8 ball. You know, we just need to stop fighting each other. We just need to stop disagreeing with each other. Stop. We just got. That's one thing I disagree. I agree with 100%. We got to stop bashing each other because like we are 30, 40 years behind, not just on technology, but on their plan. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get the number 6, Survive and Advance, produced by Pure Fast. The positive messages that the artist enhances over this head nodding track gives us survival tips, along with hopeful advances. I welcome his thoughts and life experiences. Number 6, Survive and Advance. SP, what do you think about this one? You're on mute. SP, you're on mute.
This college level rhyme scheme explaining how he went to college from shady beginnings to survive in advance to sever the cycle, you know. And I think that's part of the reason we find it difficult to chastise each other when we're wrong because we knew what it took to get there. And so we protect most often. And this is one of those tracks that I love. I love your rapping on this. I love your wordplay on this because you went through the whole Big Ten. And
I knew you would catch that.
you did it skillfully. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. Surviving Advance was an ode to NCAA basketball, which we have coming up. You know, March Madness.
Yep.
You know, we got the conference tournaments going on now. Big East, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-10. I'm a huge college basketball fan, huge basketball fan in general, and I just equated surviving and advancing, just getting to that next round of life, to the basketball sense. Just double entendre, just really connecting the dots with surviving and advancing, and in society, and surviving and advancing in that round of 64, getting to that next level of life.
No, the way you connect things and your storytelling abilities are incredible. Let's talk about the next track, which kind of involves or storytelling. Number 7, Fairytales, produced by Immortal Buddah, featuring Benji, aka Insight. Now I know it's AKA, right?
Yeah.
So I say of Fairytales, do you believe in fairy tales? You know, Thought Provokah doesn't while he breaks them down and speaks the ultimate truth. Track is spellbounding. And props to Benji on the track, aka Insight. Now that we know. SP, where you going with Fairytales?
Take them three little pigs and make them ribs. We was all food. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah,
We were all food. It was survival of the fittest. We was food. Everybody was food. Anybody could get it.
yeah.
Yeah, the hood don't give you time to daydream and be a little Snow White. You grow up fast
Right.
and you learn survival skills you probably shouldn't have to learn. But I knew if a car was coming down the street too slow that I needed to slide. You know,
Yeah.
Get the Heisman on, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? You're like this, looking like.
You know what I mean?
yeah. At 8, we knew when it was time to get out the middle of the street, and go back in the house and get down on the floor. It wasn't no we wasn't worried about the big bad wolf. Everybody was a wolf.
Exactly. That's the crux of it, being read these fairy tales, and also like that's kind of the connection to Boy Meets World, reading these fairy tales, shit, the Three Little Pigs, you hear Jack and the Beanstalk, and there's always happy endings. And it's just like, why is my ending not happy? Like you watch, I don't know, somebody mentioned it the other day. I remember it, like the Homeward Bound movie where the dogs run away, and then they come back, and then the kids are so happy that the dogs came back. And usually your dog going to the pound or somebody.
Your dog's gone or hit by a car or something.
These things, you have to be comfortable with not having a happy ending and just being okay with where you are in your circumstances. So that's what fairy tales is like. We don't believe in fairy tales because they don't happen for us.
No, 100%. There's no, Snow White or whatever fairy tale ending, saying in our hood. So, 100%, man. Ice Cube said it best. Did he have that the fairy? What was Ice Cube's song about? Humpty Dumpty fell on the, he had one about fairy tales. And he was talking about the hood. He kind of like, equipped it with the hood tales. Was it fairy hood tale? I forget what it's. I'm just blanking out.
Yeah, I'm blanking. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I'm blanking out. But Ice Cube said it best, man. With like fairy tales of the hood, right?
Yeah, the hood wasn't Snow White. The hood was Henny Penny. Everybody got 8.
You said Henny Penny? What's Henny Penny? Are you talking about?
Henny Penny, the sky was falling. The wolf ate everybody. The fox ate everybody. The duck, the goat, the chicken, the horse, everything. Everybody got it.
Everybody was cuisine. Word.
Yeah.
No, I get it, man. Everybody's food, man. So I know I get that reference. Number 8, Be the Audience, man. This joint is fire. Produced by SnapWhite. Take a front seat to your life and be your VIP audience. Great topic and message to equate to the world. Just a smooth track, man. Really into this one right here. Number 8, Be the Audience. SP, what do you think about this one right here?
Yeah, this is another one where you if people ain't paying attention to what you're doing, sometimes you just got to pay attention to yourself. I like what I do. Whether you like it or not, I can't speak on that. But if nobody else show up, I'm gonna show up for me.
Right.
And that is one of the dopest messages ever. If your theater is 1,000 seats, then it's gonna be 1,000 of me sitting in them seats. If don't nobody else show up, I'm gonna show up.
No, it's one of the greatest messages, man. Where you going with that thought provoke? Like we said it. I think we said it best. But will you? Are we hitting it on the nail or what?
Absolutely. I think you have to. I think as artists, we beat ourselves up about this concept or this scheme, and I know I'm meticulous. You know, I'm very meticulous when it comes to thematic albums and rhyme schemes, double entendres. You know, making sure pronunciation of words are right. And sometimes you can look at some stuff and be like, oh man, my peoples ain't supporting me. You know, they ain't really checking for me. That's what kind of where that started at. And I saw an interview by Rick Rubin, and it just said, be the audience, make the thing for you, the audience. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. When you're secure in yourself and in your art, and there's a feeling there, like it's sort of it's tribal, you know what I mean? And once you get to that place, man, it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Do you like it? Do you like what you're doing? Are your intentions pure with what you're doing? If so, keep going. And sometimes you gotta sit in that auditorium and see 1,000 U's in there to build up your self-confidence and go against the grain and do what hasn't been done.
And you know, at the same time, like when you say the 1,000 U's, think about it, your fan base usually gets your personality by listening to your records, in a sense, right?
Right.
So they're more close to you than anyone else because they actually gravitate to your music, and if you're actually being vulnerable on the track, that that's better for them because they're like, yo, I go do the same thing. Oh, I'm like him. I'm him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I could see that. Like, that could be a double entendre too. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's a beautiful record, man. That's why, like, in my mind, I was like, yo, this record's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It
made me think, it really put stuff into perspective for me when I was listening to this album. Because I was just sitting thinking, I was like, oh, I gotta build our followers up. And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give the best show I can to them 30 people who took the time out to hit the follow button. I'm good with them. I love them. So I'm going to do the best I can for them while keeping my self-respect for me. So it put a lot of stuff into perspective. This is why I love your music. I love your music so much because I always take something from
it. Yeah, 100%. Let's go to number 9. You, produced by Immortal Buddah. Like, as Buster yo-yos over this piano heavy head nodder, artist Mr. Provokah appeals to more of our left brain, and speaks to the culture. Number 9, you, SP, what do you think about that one right there?
Yeah, you nailed it with this. The rapping on this was superb. I loved hearing Buster coming through being your hype man because you ate on this song. This was a great representation of the culture. This was a great representation of pure hip hop. I really love this song.
Thank you. Yeah, like, Yo was basically an ode to what we were talking about with the 50 years of hip hop, and just an ode to hip hop. Like, the first words that I said after my pop's name was Yo, and I learned that from hip hop. Like, yo, this is such and such. I'm on the mic, so Yo wasn't me hearing, the Black Sheeps, the UGKs, the early on the Ice Cubes and all that. Just hearing Yo, some people would like Tribe Called Quest. Yo, microphone, like you heard.
They might start off the rap with it.
Yo, the first thing you heard. So I would just say, I would just run around the house. I'd be 3-4 years old. Like, your name wasn't your name. It was just like, yo, like, yo. So basically, that's how I got introduced into hip hop. That was my hip hop greeting. Yo, you know what I mean?
Nah,
it's still mine. Yo.
Yeah, she still do it. Like, yo, she still do it.
It's
You.
it's hip-hop. It's definitely a hip hop word.
It's still relevant, man. Let's go to number 10. Eat Tapes, man, produced by Pure Fast, man. Eating tapes, man, right now, kiddies, if y'all listening out there, it's equal to like having a virus on your device, man. So these kids are like, what's eating tapes? Like, yo, it's just a virus on your phone, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This song is dedicated to quality sound and hip hop topics, man. It's just a good concept record. Number 10, Eat Tapes, SP. What's going on with that one?
Yeah, just hearing Memorex brought back so many memories.
Right here, dog. Come on,
Yeah, just hearing Memorex was like, I remember that Memorex. And then if you didn't have enough money for Memorex, you went to the Max sales.
I got Memorex. I got them all, boy. I was broke. I got TDK. I got all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a box in the room, and actually I had the Takal record, and it was literally like eating the tape. Like I'm just like, oh man, so I had to go get the tape player and put it in because I'm a collector of like vinyl and tape and CDs as well. Yeah. But that was the first time I was just like equating eating a tape to low quality, low vibrational music, you know what I mean? And it just felt right to create, and just remembering my memories of Memorex and TDKs, Maxwell's, all that, you know, recording, you know, what I would do sometimes, like early on, I would get the tape, you know, recording and then try to make mixtapes. I would make mixtapes and sell them at my school for my friends.
Me too, dog. Me too.
Get your money up, you know, real quick.
Hustling, dog.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that would be that was the memory, and that was the juxtaposition. You know what I mean? So I love E-Tapes, man. Shout out to Pure Fact, man. It's my guy. Started with him.
100%.
Very dope.
Very dope. Let's go to number 11, man. Insight is back, man. Insight likes what he hears so far. That's the title of the track. Now, Insight is back and checking in with the audience, man. So 11. Insight likes what he hears so far, SP.
Yeah, him and me.
You both like
with these skits, like I remember like I would be like, this was coming down to the wire. Shout out my brother Cloud for engineering. Shout out my brother who's also on the album as well. Shout out my brother Elliot Major, who helped in the process. But we was coming down to the wire, and he had to record the skits. And what I would do is I wrote it out like a script. Like the last album, Can I Rap For You, I would write out this. I would go in, record one song, and then write the script, write the skit right on the spot, right? Oh. So this one, I said, yo, we kind of have a we kind of have a rapport with each other where, you know, I can just give him, and I say, yo, just take, you know, I'm gonna give you what it is really, or improvise what you think, because we've already built the chemistry about it. So he would just go in there, and a lot of the stuff wasn't scripted. That a lot of that was him just going off of like a template. You know what I mean? So
okay,
it was definitely funnier than what I wrote, because he improvised. You know what I mean? So shout out to Benji with these skits, man.
And that's great that you do that. It's like actors, you know, movies. They say they do the same thing. If it's a great actor, they know, say like a Will Ferrell or something. Right. They might write the script, but they might let them freestyle a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then it might be better than, you know, what they wrote. So
it reminded me of Napster when you would listen to Napster for a long time. Like, are you still listening?
Right.
Yo, that's hilarious. Who does that? Oh, Netflix still does that. I was just like, somebody else still does that. Let's go to number 12. God MC featuring is it Ganesboro? Produced by Ganesboro? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This track continues to deliver ill audio experiences, highlighting hip hop and the artists who shaped him as the rapper he is today. Feature Greensboro joins the quest and does his hip hop homework and gets a good grade, man, on this project. Number 12, God MC. SP, what do you think about this track?
Respecting the craft biblically, mortal or immortal. That's kind of what great hip hop does for you. It makes you immortal. You know, I'm always gonna want to hear thought provoking. Uh, to this day, Can I Rap for You is still one of my favorite concept albums ever. It easily hit my top 5, and I've been listening to hip hop since like '78. So
That's
when
huge.
when you respect the craft, it makes you immortal. And I've given it to my kid, and she loves it. So you just keep passing down what you love, and the person who gave you that beauty is immortal. And that is what makes you a god MC.
Definitely. So yeah, I wrote it, like I said, like this album is like 2-3 years in the making. Boy Meets World is about, I want to say, almost 10 plus years old. You know what I'm saying? God MC is about a year old, year or two. Already had the video shot. I didn't know where to place it. I had it as a single, and I feel like I'm not a single type of artist. I'm an album artist. They want album content. They want depth from me. I was just talking to my friend the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, you could do the whole Russ thing with the videos." And I was like, "People ain't checking for me for singles, respectfully." And I'm not a single artist. Like I'm an in-depth artist. So God MC is just an ode to hip hop, comparing it to a spiritual and biblical state and respecting it as if you would respect, you know, your God, whoever you subscribe to, whether it be Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, you know, respecting it like that, and the respect you give it, it'll give back to you, and it'll immortalize you in the pantheon of other greats. And that's where I want to sit when this is all said and done.
So yeah, you're not just like an intriguing MC. You have timeless music, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you got 10, maybe 5, maybe 1 year old tracks that can come out and sound like present time. Right. And I always tell a lot of MCs not to date your music. Like, try not to put the dates in. Try not to just make quality music, but try not, unless it's relevant. Like if you're like, yo, in 1970, you want to do a 1970 track. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. I love the album cover. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's complimentary to the project. It's just dope. Tell us about the album cover real quick before we get to 13.
Well, the album cover, as you can see, it's a baby with like a grown face, like an older face than what you would see from an infant or a toddler. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the concept was the music kind of helped me, and in tandem with my environment, helped me grow up faster. So the face that you see is actually a version of my son's face, but a little older. You know, you're kind of splicing in the wrinkles and everything else. Yeah. Like where you live and the experience you have can age you from feeling like I said one time, like you could be 8 by 10. You know what I mean? Like, or you could be 10 by 8. Depending on how you live. So the album cover was me living faster through the experiences of my environment and the music that I was listening to, that I kind of got onto earlier than, I wasn't supposed to know what an onion was at 7, 8 years old. I wasn't, like I wasn't supposed to know what a 3-5 was. I wasn't supposed to know none of that.
None of that.
Yeah. And that's what the album cover represented.
Nah, I appreciate it because our environment and of course the music, it did they were kind of like our environment was like our father, and the music maybe was our mother because like different this additional parents in a sense, right? Let's go to okay. Sorry.
Also, as an aside, like I had my father in the house, I had my mother in the house, so
respect too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people.
Yeah. But at the same time, the opportunities for like quick aside, like my father was like brutally beat up by police officers, knocked out all his teeth, all that. So my dad, my whole life, he's had fake teeth in his mouth. So even I saw dudes with single parent households, mother, father, this, that, and the third. I grew up with mine, but my experiences were similar because we're in the same socioeconomic circle. So you know, the dissolution of the Black family is still a thing, but the socioeconomics of it all, because they weren't trying to give opportunities to Black men for state jobs back then either. You know what I'm saying? In New York City, I'll speak to it for the MTAs and the city jobs. And if you were a police officer, a firefighter, you dealt with that blue wall of silence and racism on top of that. You know what I mean?
At the same damn time. Yep.
Exactly.
No, 100%. I love this conversation, man. This is why we do this, man. Number 13, right? / Rhyme Interlude, produced by Bernell. Whitaker? Yeah, Whitaker.
And you know what?
Okay.
And you know who produced that?
Oh, who's that?
That's Benji as well.
Oh, got another name.
Yeah, that's his beat. That's his first beat.
Very dope.
That's his first beat ever, and he was chopping the sample up like he was just doing, he was just chopping it, and I'm just like, he was like, I ain't even put no drums on. I was like, I don't want the drum, just give me that, and I'll use it as an interlude, and it was just me being creative, and I just wanted to rhyme with it. Something said like, yo, create some type of deaf poetry feel on it.
Yo, man, now you got me thinking of He-Man. Remember that character that had the different eyes? He kept changing. That's this dude right here, man. He got 40 names, man. What's going on? All these talents, right? So number 13 again, man. So I say the way Thought Provokah writes, rhymes is appreciated and will be examined by rhyme writers. You know what I'm saying? Like, future rhyme writing people to this day probably like tapping into your work going, yo, what is this, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Studying your work. 13, right / Rhyme Interlude, SP.
So the way you write your rhymes is so devastatingly honest. It's not braggadocious, and it's just pure honesty, good or bad. You are not you're not one to hide away from criticizing, but you do it in such a way that it is informative rather than petty.
Right.
And your the way you write it can change your mood. It changes your train of thought. I think the way you write can really touch lives, and it's why I've always just been such a big supporter for you, because what you have to me is kind of what Tupac had for me. It changes you. And so when you write like that, I think that's one of the things that I think deserves support.
Thank you. And it's over a Dwelle, like, Dwelle singing, and he just started, like I said, he just started chopping it. And this song is just like an ode to writers and rhymers, whether you go in the studio punching 1,000 times because you're rhyming off the head, or whether you like me and just in any space, in any setting, if the music is blaring, whatever, I'm just gonna write. I'm here to write. I'm here to get down to business. Like, and it was just an ode to that, ode to the good old pen and paper. The feelings of it when I first wrote my first rhyme. Like say, like, righting the right wrongs, right? They say right on, looking for something to write on. Like, it's a spiritual, like cathartic type of feeling with me when I write. I have every time I write, I feel like I have something to say. I'm never gonna just hop on anything and just give you some listless, useless, like frivolous, like bullshit. I'm not gonna do that. And when I have something to say, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it in my music.
And this is why I think SP, now I can't speak for, but at least I'm drawn to, artists like you. Like, and I tell people I listen to everything. I listen to the pimp stuff, I listen to the thug stuff, I listen to everything. But if you really like pinpoint this channel, you'll see that I gravitate more towards artists like yourself, man, because you're actually saying something. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about 14. It's called Peace. This is produced by Pure Fact. The jazz infused track bumps like the Rocky Mountains, while rappers' vocal tone and delivery brings peace, tranquility, and order. Number 14, Peace, SP. What's going on with that one?
So I love the way that you use classic tracks, to delineate peace, and the need for peace,
Right.
and the desire for peace,
Right.
and how hard it is when you're not at peace.
Right.
So yeah, this was a great track. Anytime you can incorporate the classics and not lose your message is a testament to your writing.
Right. And with Peace, this was a lot of people's favorite because I'm mentioning, like, the violence with with the gun violence. You lose takeoff. You're seeing all these murders in the community. Whether you like the young man's music or whether it's always a battle, but you don't want to see lives lost. You want to see an art form that we help create. We want to profit over that. We want to raise our children. We want to be good husbands and wives, and we want to participate in the art form without the need for the violence. But at the same time, like we talked about in Dare Kids, you redline us, you drop drugs in the community, and then at one point you got mad at the messages. Then you thought, oh, it's a light bulb. We can make money off just promoting that. You know what I'm saying? Why are we? You remember Cop Killer, right? With Ice Cube, with Ice-T. And Warner was like, we're not putting this out. And fast forward to today, they would definitely put it out because they know they're gonna profit off of the murder and degradation.
100%, man.
So they kind of flip the switch. And what I wanna preach is just peace, is just love, is just positivity. Like, I don't have to see you as a mark. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'm a stick up and rob. I don't have to see that sister as a hoe. I don't have to do that, and I don't want to do that. Every place, I always say peace as a greeting because every place I go to, that's the energy and the vibration and the frequency that I want to be on. I want to be peace until it's not peace. If it's not peace, I'm gonna defend myself. But if it's always peace and love, then I'm gonna approach it with peace and love every single time.
Oh, I love that, man. Yeah, it's the energy you bring in the room, and usually, like, if you walk in a room full of people and they could be the clan, but if you walk in there, peacefully and you like with a smooth demeanor, like walking like Obama or something, you might calm down the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just your energy.
Obama calming down the clan. That'd be something funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that'd be a good skit.
I hope you get out that room. I'm gonna help you, brother.
It's just the way you walk, get that pimp walk, man. Just like, yo, who's this dude? Let's see what he got to say. The clan probably be listening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Number 15, You Speak Woke, man, produced by Magnum. The Think Before You Speak record gives me hope that rappers like Thought Provokah are not sleeping, man, but they, human, they got human characteristics, man. Are you living what you speak, man? That's the question. SP15, man, You Speak Woke, man. What's going on with that track?
So I see this on social media a lot. People are woke enough just to be dangerous.
That's the quote of the night right there. That's for real.
Everybody's talking. They talk the black power, but some people ain't black enough to have black power. It's always a mix, and they stay just close enough to the message to be right, and they are totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then you have these woke white people who have weaponized the word against us.
Right.
So I love this track. I love the message. I think more people should speak on the message, and we should not let them weaponize it against us when especially when they don't understand what it is.
Yeah, well, what I would say about this track is, the first line was basically, intellectual banger, had that flag hanging, like it became like a gang war to be like pedantic, to be the smartest person in the room. You'll see it on Twitter, you'll see it on your Facebooks, on your Instagram. Everybody wants to be wants to have the right information, but information constantly changes and forms and reforms and switches. So what we got is we have a gang war on information. We have a gang war on spirituality. You know what I mean? Whether and I'll see it. Some people are Democrats, some people are Republicans, some people are socialists, some people are narco capitalists, it's so many different sects to get. And what I tell black people all the time is, they ask me my political party, I always say I'm black. That's my political party. I'm black. Because what happens is they still going to arrest me and beat me up if I'm a Lord. They still going to arrest me and beat me up if I'm a Hebrew Israelite. They still going to arrest me if they could beat up Henry Louis Gates, who was a renowned scholar, and not let him and not give him access into his home. The same thing can happen to him. The same thing could happen to Eric Garner. And you know what I'm saying? Like the still nigga complex. So I was just basically speaking to us black people, like, listen, we got to get on one accord. Like let's focus here. Let's focus here and let's be on one accord. And like SB say, like, let's not let other people or other races or other cultures and creeds that don't have this issue. Don't let them bastardize the term woke to make us fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And that was completely the pro-black song. You probably missed somebody that went over a head or two, but that's what I was speaking on.
No, you're speaking, correct. You're speaking, great messages. Your volume is, on 10, man. We appreciate it, man. And we would love to see everybody on the same frequency. It's just so tough when everyone's getting programmed from different channels.
Exactly.
And it's tough, man. Hopefully we can get there, man. I'm an optimist, so I believe that eventually we'll get out of this funk and these clouds, and hopefully, like you said, wake up, woke, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Number 16, The Math of Ageism, produced by Pure Fact. The artist wordplay is creative exciting for the rap game and brings forward knowledge. Rap is young. It's still young. It's only 50, man. Let rappers age with it. That's what I got from this record. People, don't want, LL to put out another album. You know what I'm saying? But I do. SP, number 16. You on mute again.
First of all, I love the Joe Clark scheme.
Mhm.
You slid across that. Um, I am one of those young old niggas. You know,
Hey, talk about it.
Lord.
you know, I realize that, now I am the ancestor, but my speakers is still gonna bump. I'm still gonna, you know, hit the corner.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I do.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so, but I'm not gonna let you define I'm not gonna let you define 51 for me, because my 51 is not my mom's 51. My 51 grew up at a whole different time,
Mhm.
and my 51 been through some shit. So
Mhm.
our 51 is gonna be different than your 51 gonna be different than my 51.
Mhm.
But you can't tell me I'm too old to listen to rap, and you can't tell me I'm too old to listen to hardcore rap. And if I want to listen to trap, I'm gonna listen to trap. And if I want to dance to trap, I'm gonna do that too. If I want to grab my ankles, I'm gonna
Oh, I
do
knew it
that
coming.
too. So
I knew
you
it was
know,
coming. I could have quoted it with it, dog. She about to grab
let us be 50 the way we want to be 50, and respect that, because I respect your youth. So
grab them ankles, girl. Grab them ankles.
respect my wisdom.
Hey, yo. Yeah, you crazy.
If I respect your youth, respect my wisdom.
No, hell yeah, 100%, 100%.
And that's what I was basically speaking on. I was just like, we let Mick Jagger and people from Aerosmith and U2 and Bono, they constantly tour, even to people like Green Day and all these other cover rock bands, and there's never a conversation of, are they too old to
Never.
put this album out? It's never a conversation. We only do that amongst us, a predominantly black art form. And that's what I was kind of speaking to. Like, you're never too old to learn. You're only, what Fonte say, you're only as old as your ability to process new information. That's what ages you. What
Yeah.
ages you is your ability to process new information, your ability to decipher between information is where the age comes in at. The wanton ignorance, like that is the is the ageism that I'm speaking on, that I'm talking about. And I want to hear my, the forefathers of this putting out great music and timeless music and still being able to tour. And I want to pull up to a Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One concert. I want to pull up to a Anita Baker concert,
Yep.
because when you make timeless music, it exists in every decade. I'm gonna still listen to the Temptations in 2035. I'm still gonna have that vinyl. I'm still gonna like a Mickey Howard record in 2040.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my thing with Mad the Ageism is, man, stop it. Stop, especially if they don't. Like, I have an allegiance to what's dope. I don't have an allegiance to an age,
Yeah.
creed,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, I don't call a female MC a female MC. She an MC to me. If she dope, I'm gonna listen. I don't care.
Yo, right?
Me, dope is dope to me. I don't care. I don't care if you 65 in the home that your parents put you in. If you put out some music that I can rock to, I'm here with it all day long. So that's basically what Mad the Ageism is.
Yo, these
Already.
these white rock stars be looking like skeletons with guitars in their hands on stage, man. Stop it, man. They talking about us Asian. Get out of here.
Jag too.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go to
I was
okay.
I I was laughing. I was watching Jimmy Kimmel the one night, and you know how he do the mean tweets,
Yeah.
and he had Liv Tyler on there, Steven Tyler's daughter, and she's like, "Does it disturb you that your dad looks like a ball sack?"
Oh, that's a good tweet. That's a good tweet, though. That's a good tweet. Man. That's a good tweet because he probably do.
I was just thinking he has gotten that old, and yet he is still. I would still pay to see Steve Tyler in concert.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how dope he was. That's how dope he is. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why it has to be different in hip hop.
You know why? We're not gonna go. Come on, we can talk. Listen, this conversation could be 18 hours us talking, right? But let's get to
I know.
17. I am not an influencer, but produced by Immortal Buddah. Are you a role model, an influencer? I'm intrigued on Thought Provoker's rap ability, flow, and cadence with the culture and the knowledge of the culture that he has. 17. What do you think about that, SP?
I think this. I like this song. I am not an influencer because I think you can impart knowledge without without the other stuff included. I don't think anybody should look at even though we did, I don't think we should have looked at any individual as a big influence because now we older and then we hear the real story and we like, oh shit.
Disappointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ended up disappointed. So yeah, I like the message of this song. I think it's a hard line to cross, but I really don't think artists should be responsible for being being your influencer or your role model.
Yeah, and also what I was speaking to as well is like, you see I always see like, oh, I'm an influencer and I'm promoting something, and it's very corny, it's very shallow,
Mm-hmm.
it's attention. You're saying anything or doing anything or compromising integrity just for likes, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I want to, like Joel Ortiz went up to Hot 97, and Ebro's asking him all these questions, and his rebuttal was, "I just came here to rap. Like I didn't come in."
No, yeah, the 100%.
Extra, and that's kind of be how I be feeling. Like, let's promote it. Let's be funny. You know what I'm saying? But the other corny stuff, the fake beating,
cut it out. Cut it. Ebro and them should know better, and you should know your audience. Like, it's like, okay, we interviewing you, so we know it's gonna be not just because your name's Thought Provoker, but thought provoking conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, no pun intended, but it's like we know this conversation could go on for 40 hours because you have a great mindset that can like carry on information that we want to hear. We want to have these conversations for days. We want to talk. We want to have these conversations. We want to get this information out. Right, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm interviewing somebody that's, I don't know, shallow-minded, maybe just got limited bars, I know the conversation is gonna be. I know the video is gonna be 30 minutes, and we plan for that. We plan for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just what you got to do. And like you're saying, Ebro and them, whatever. No disrespecting anybody, you know what I'm saying, in the game. But you gotta stop, man. You gotta know your audience and stop, with the questions that they give you. I don't know who's giving you these questions or they're required. Come on, man. Stop it. Let's go to 18, Hero or Villain Interlude, produced by Jumbo. faster tone track with the message of being not perfect, bad and good forces, are our battle, you know, in general. 18 hero or villain interlude, SP.
Yeah, one of those songs that perfectly just describes the human experience. You know, I will feed the homeless and I'll cut a bitch. So it's one of those
At the same time.
wonderful, yeah. You know, it's just that balance you always seeking in life, and I love this track. It's not one of the longer tracks, but it was enough to feed.
Mm,
Right. And hero or villain basically built off the premise of I'm not an influencer.
yep.
Either you live, either you die a hero, or you live long enough to be the villain, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I watched The Dark Knight, and at the end he goes, some people don't deserve the truth. They deserve to have their faith rewarded, sort of like that. So that's why I kind of put the superhero, references in there, Marvel, DC, all that, because sometimes how we get painted either in media circles or even through gossip and hearsay. You can look like a hero. Some you're gonna be the villain. It's all due to the human experiences, and you gotta, as artists, you gotta take that good with the bad. Sometimes they want the anti-hero. Sometimes they want the John Cena apple pie, they want that person to represent, but it's the yin and yang. Like you're both, and you're never going to be everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? Not at all. So that's basically hero and villain.
No, I like it. I like it. Let's go to 19 Glory Part 2, produced by, is it Mekari?
Yeah.
Okay, Mekari. Thought Provoker wants the glory just like we do. But he's aware it takes hard work, grind, and passion. The music is glorious, go along with the rapping. And it's just a dope chorus too. I like the chorus. 19 Glory Part 2, SP.
What's odd is that was one of my first comments. This chorus is dope as hell.
Mhm. Yeah. Shout out Elliot Major on the chorus. Yeah.
This chorus is dope as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We are all looking for a modicum of glory, but you have to define what's glorious.
Exactly. 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 And that's basically what it is. Like we're talking about, does that glory come at the expense of your soul? Like why gain the whole world and then lose your soul? You know what I'm saying? So glory to me is, being things like this, being recognized for a great piece of work that you put out, and building a community of fans as opposed to the fickle fair weather fans. I remember my bro A1 told me one time. He said, I don't want a community. He said, I don't want a bunch of followers. I want to build a community, and I'll never forget that. And there's glory in building a grassroots community of people that really, really rock with you and buy your merch, and just buy your purchase physicals. And that's basically what glory is to us. Just having this thing build from where it started from, and that's community.
Yeah, no, 100%. Man, I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this breakdown, man. Number 20, guess what? Insight's back, man. So Insight has heard enough, man. Oh, what's going on with Insight? Insight's attention span isn't matching the early days and glorious days of rap, which this album is all about, man. Number 20, SP. What do you think about Insight, man? It's clips.
Yeah, I was ready to tell Insight, get it together now.
What you doing, man? Messing up the album sales, man. What's going
Yeah, get it together, fella.
on?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if it's a long album.
This is not long.
It
It's 40,
doesn't.
it's not even 40,
It doesn't. It doesn't feel. It didn't feel long. I
40
didn't feel like I had listened to it for a long time until he said something, and then I was like,
right?
"What are you talking about?"
Yeah. I'm like, this dude reminded me how long. What's going on? Yeah. That was, but it goes with the album. Yeah, I get it.
And what happens is like that was a play in there where it's like, you'll get to a certain song and you'll be like, okay, all right, this is what is it, 17? You like people will look at the track list before they listen.
Oh, before they press play.
Yeah.
Exactly, and be like 20 songs. I remember people used to say that to me. Like I remember when I released "Can I Rap for You," and it was like they saw all this and they was just like, "What in the hell are you doing with all these skits and songs and everything else?" And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really see a lot of skits and music before "Can I Rap For You." I really didn't see it because that was everybody was going towards the 9-10 track album, and I wanted to be and be like 30. You know what I'm saying? 30. I don't care. I'm gonna release everything. I'm gonna make a long album purpose. And I turned people around in my in my circle of fans to longer length albums, even though this could have been way longer. I mean, I had 27 on deck. Like that was just
okay.
But we had to cut it short per, getting in the mixing and mastering. But yeah, I could have made it. This could have been a lot longer. This could have been like an hour plus.
Nothing wrong with that. You've still been on this channel discussing the album.
Word.
That's me, know. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
whatever. Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered to me how long it was.
Yeah, it's like, whatever, dude. Let's go to the last track, 21. They don't listen long enough. That's the funniest part, ending of the album. This is produced by J.R. Swift's. The track has the rapper grounded and leads with a piano head nodding beat while Thought Provokah lets his tape rock till it pops, man. He's working, man. You are working, man, Thought Provokah. Like this. Let's listen to it. As soon as it goes off, I'm like, I'm going back. I'm playing it again, man. SP, what do you think about the last track, 21? What do you do? Did he take us out?
Yeah, J.R. Swift. I love him. And so for me, this was one of my top 3 tracks on the album. This is one of those because I'm old school. I'm like, just shut up and listen to the tape. We've all been there. We've all been there where you be listening to an album and your friend is talking in the background and then they saying bullshit that you don't want to hear, and then they say something and you like, man, shut up and listen to that.
Exactly.
Because you're disrupting what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Or want to turn it off and put this song on. Yeah, this was one of my favorites because it just reminded me of those friends that can't listen to music with me no more.
Yeah, well, with this, like I said, that's another beat I had for 2 years, and I had it from J.R. Swift. And like I said, I didn't want to disappoint on this. I'm like, oh, this J.R. Swift, I gotta come with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to. It was like one of those. Where I was just like, all right, I'm gonna place this here because this goes perfectly here. And he was surprised at like the beat selection. And this is like, what is this? This is Clubhouse, and we playing beats, and I'm about to pick a beat that I'm about to buy. And he's like surprised. He's like, you picked that one? I was like, yeah, I like this one. And it sounds like one. It sounds like one of them joints from the Elzai album that he did. which is why I picked it. And yeah, they don't. You know, a lot of people don't listen long enough to albums. They won't get to track 20. They won't get to track 10 these days. And I wanted to make a point. Pardon me. If you get to this point in my album, there's still stuff that I have to say. And I could have said more, but you know, side B will explain more.
Oh, so there's gonna be a side B to this.
Absolutely.
So this I didn't even know this was a side A. In my mind, okay, so it's kind of tape related. So I get it. The tape.
Yeah.
Tape.
Side A, side B.
Oh, okay. All right. I just see you on Twitter talking about a side B. I'm like, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
But I was just letting you. I don't know. I'm just gonna be surprised. Like, whatever. You know, I don't know what he's talking about, but I get it now.
On the album cover, like on the album cover, it has a B on it. So it's I let my tape back to my tape pop, and it got the B on the tape. So 4 side B.
Oh, I saw that. But oh, you know, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like you, like people being on here, man. Don't say.
I tell you, I always say he's one of the best concept artists.
Yeah.
I've ran across in years, and that's why I'm such a. I know people don't say they don't like the word fan, but I'm a fan. I'm a big fan, so it is what it is. You just have to accept it.
I appreciate it.
You have to be. You have to be first. If you're in the fan first, I mean, what are you doing? Listen, what are you doing? What are you doing? 2023 Thought Provokah Incorporated. You know, the first question I ask when I see something like that, man, do you own all your masters, man? You know, we talked about, you know, De La Soul earlier. Do you own all your masters? And, you know, if you do, you know, first of all, I'm proud of you having your own company, but do you own your own masters and stuff?
I got all my joints is mine, man. I own my beats. You know, me and my producers, we work that out. I buy all exclusive. You know what I'm saying? I don't lease anything. I give out fair. You know, another thing I want to say to y'all, man, start giving fair splits to y'all producers, man. Like, y'all, you know, if your man's put out, you know, the beat and you pay for it and there's royalties to be had, don't get that man 5%, man. What we doing out here? Get that man 20, 25 if you can. You know what I mean? Well, you should be. Get that man 25. Love your producers, love your engineers. You know what I'm saying? Take care of those people because they're gonna take care of you. So yeah, everything is me, man, from the jump. And all the people that you see that I work with, you see it's like the Magnum Beats and Pure Fact and Dumbo, Immortal Buddah. These are people like I talk to constantly. These are like my go-tos. You know, I you know, you saw some from others on there, but for the most part, it's Dumbo, it's Pure Fact, because we built a relationship, we built a rapport, and we built a sound together. And I think it's important to build a sound. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, I can rap over other things, like off Shadow Work. It was a lot of trap beats, there's a lot of up tempo, double time. I've done that. But me and Dumbo especially, because Dumbo is, I remember when people didn't want to mess with Dumbo's beats, like in the beginning, like, nah, you just loop in and all that. And I was just like, I take him with me. And that's like my little brother. You know what I mean? I wish he was on camera if he wasn't shy and disappeared for 8 months at a time. But
stop telling his business.
Like that's my guy. That's my guy. And yeah, so we built the sound, and you know, it's always been fair. It's always been a rapport with us, me and my producers, and you know, that's how we rock it.
SP, I know you got a couple questions hopefully built up. Actually, question, first question. I got his work. You know, scrolling down, you know, some of his EPs, his albums. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to bring those up. If you got your own questions, ask the first question.
So, Shadow Work is actually another one of my favorite albums. I love people don't talk about mental health often enough, and this was one of the best mental health albums because you didn't just it just wasn't a all feel good album.
Absolutely.
It was it went through the work. And so what made you come up with the concept for that? Because it was well done. I say it all the time. It's one of those albums that people wish they had made.
Well, with Shadow Work, I made a lot of the tracks during the pandemic. My
Hmm.
history with mental health and everything else, and just seeing how people sort of, massage how you're supposed to go through mental health is supposed to be all peace and sage and things like that. No, there's some real pain you have to work through. There's some screaming in those sessions. You're projecting your
Hmm.
feelings onto your therapist about yourself, and it's not all rainbows, it's not all roses. And I wanted, especially black men, especially to, because I've heard for years, like, you hear it in your household, like, it's cowardly for suicide attempt. I'm not going to therapy. I'm not doing, you know what I'm saying? And in our household, like, you have to be the paragon of manliness, especially per our
Yes.
history and what we've gone through. So mental health is sort of at the back burner, and I wanted to start a series because there will be a part two to that as well. Um, to build a series of of I call them movies, like little short movies
Hmm.
on the experience, the real experience of mental health. And at the time, I was messing with I was working as a care manager, and I was working with somebody who would go into his sessions, sitting with him, and you would hear this pain, like it was just shrieking, yelling, and do you know what I've been through and everything else, and so that helped me put the pieces together and complete it, and yeah, that was the finished product. I think the first one of the tracks is Mental Funeral, where I'm yelling at the therapist and everything else.
Hmm.
That's I attribute that to my experiences, and also hearing what that brother had to go through, and him just expunging all that hate out of his system that day.
Yeah, Shadow Work is just a great album, and I wanted to shout it out so people can check it out because it's worthy, and it deserves a lot of praise because it's so well done.
Thank you, SP. Appreciate that.
Thought, man, I want to tap into your brain waves, man. I want to know. I'm a great, I love to read. What are you reading, and can you recommend some books for us? If not now, maybe get them to us later. But what are you reading? What's going on? What you watching? What you reading, man? Where you getting these thoughts from? Where you getting this great content from, man?
You know what's crazy? I'm walking into my job site in Brooklyn, and I see like a free book like on the side, and it's Dutchman by Mary Baraka. Dutchman and the play Slave, right? If anybody has ever heard of Mary Baraka, please tap into his poetry. Great poet, great playwright, just all around great activist. And I'm reading what I'm actually reading right now is Dutchman. And on my desk right now I have Soledad Brothers, the Prison Letters of George Jackson. Um, I tap between a couple different books. I was reading Jay-Z's Decoded the other day.
Got
Um,
that.
Asada,
Ooh,
I tapped into Asada. The Tower Wu. These have just been my book list. I'm a heavy reader. Like, anybody that knows me knows, like, my book collection has to. I am a stickler for books. Like, I see a free book, and if it's dope, I'm a read it. I'm a reader. I'm,
yeah,
I'm a reader, and like, I know people like this day and age, you learn through like visual learning. Nah, I learned everything. Like, I have to write it down, memorize it. you know, because I come from a school of my parents made me read a half hour. I had to read. I had to go to Sunday school and read the Bible. And you got to read for an hour, or you know, it's these programs they had in school called No TV Week, and you had to turn the TV off, and you couldn't watch any TV. You had to just read. So
yeah,
I'm a reader. Like my bookshelf to the left of me has all vinyl and books. vinyl and books. And you know, I love to read, and I feel as though that's where I built my vocabulary up, because when people read, I'm like one of those readers for information. So I read with a highlighter and I read with a pen. And if I don't understand a word in the margins, I'll look it up and I want to define it. I'll underline it. I'll look in the dictionary to see what that words mean in the context of the story of the book that I'm reading. I'll define it. I'll leave it there. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of my lexicon now. And I want to highlight different quotes. Like my books don't look pretty. Like this is George Jackson, right? The cover came off. If you look at it, pen marks, it's mad pen marks and highlighter marks and all that. So that's where I kind of keep myself mentally sharp. Like if I feel like I'm watching too much TV or whatever the case may be, you know, unplug the Wi-Fi, put the phone down, go read a book, man. Go read a book.
So, no, I love that. I love it, man. Because I'm a avid reader myself. You know, the library be like, you again? I'm like, yeah. What else you got? God damn it! You know what I'm saying? Right. I got a book collection, but right now, you know, I abuse the library. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Jeff, man, for tuning in. He has that attention span, so he tuned into the whole podcast. Shout out to Jeff, man, from Dr. Smash. You guys had that bad, man. SP, one more question, and then we're gonna get him out of here. We're gonna promote, man. One more question for the star. SP, you there? Oh, she froze. Oh, you on?
Probably did.
There you go.
My phone rang.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
Yeah. So you are one of my favorite people to talk to.
Right.
And you're a great conversationalist.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What and I always wanted to ask you this. How did you get to that point? Because not everybody can hold a conversation or hold the conversation where they hold up their end of the conversation, and you always do. So, and there's a skill to that. How did you develop that skill for yourself?
Well, I think it just came from, like, I wasn't always like this. I was introverted as anything. And what comes with that was I learned how to do that through writing things out, through reading, and also talking about the things that I would read and that I would write. And I would sit, you know, you sit in libraries and somebody would come up to you and be like, hey, what are you reading? And you're like, oh, I'm reading this. Oh, really? And it came from people being like-minded and being attracted to what you're into on an intellectual level, or what you're on to, what you're on a spiritual level. And also, like, I started going out. Like before, like I said, I was introverted. Like I didn't start drinking alcohol until I was like 25 and all that. So as I got older, it started to build, and I started to go out and go places and get up out my shell in my bubble. And what they would find is, what I found out is the things and the information that I would compile, you know, people were interested in hearing from me. You know, so we just it was crazy learning that outside of my little bubble, you know, I wasn't just somebody just spouting off nonsense. People are interested in hearing what you're into. And I built me being able to go out as an older gentleman, as opposed to somebody 19, 20, 21-year-old, and just saying the common thing, you know. That helped me build. So I attribute that to reading and building my vocabulary and building my knowledge base, and then going out into the world and having something else to talk about besides like the usual tabloid father, the usual like mores and things of the day.
I guess, you know, my last question will be, you know, before I get you to promote. You know, speaking of books and knowledge, are you writing a book? Are you working on a book?
I want to one day. That's a good question. I definitely want to write out my memoirs and journal. My girl be telling me to journal. I don't journal. I use my rhymes as my journal. You know what I mean? But
yeah, true.
But one day I definitely want to write a book. I actually want to write poetry again because I did. That's where, like, you know, I was learning how to read and decipher poetry is like the gateway to hip hop. So one of these days, like, I definitely want to sit down and write a poetry book, you know, and see where that goes from there.
Yo, listen, man, Thought Provokah, man. Come on, man. Honor and a pleasure, man, to speak with you, man. Conversation, man. We at the end of the show, man. We need you to promote. But you know, after you promote and go bananas, we need you to say something positive, man, because we like to end the show with some, you know, some positive thoughts. It could be a message, it could be a word. You could be like love, and that's it. You know, I don't know.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, but whatever. You know, just promote, and give us some positive words or whatever, some knowledge or something.
Well, I'll start by saying love to the podcast. You know, love what y'all doing for artists. SP, you know what I'm saying? As severely, I love what y'all doing. What I will say is to piggyback off of being the audience and belief in oneself can carry you a long way. I'm not talking about from an arrogance perspective or a cockiness perspective. I'm talking about being steadfast and being still in who you are and building that balance to where nobody can kind of knock you off your squid. You know, you have tunnel vision and you know what you want, you know who you are. And what I would tell artists and I would tell everybody out there is I got to this point being exactly who I said I was and staying in that energy. And it vibrates, people can tell. So being confident in oneself and being steadfast in who you are will always get you further in life, no matter what.
Yo, love it, man. This dude, I'm telling you, man. Yo, if you don't, that book better come out this year, goddamn it.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a
shot. At least the poem book will be dope, man. I would love to read that, man. That'd be dope, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a different aspect. Maybe you probably get deeper in the poetry. I don't know what you're gonna do, but it's gonna be crazy.
And your book is on my Amazon list. I just gotta hit.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna purchase that. Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. I got the second one already in the publishers, man. You about to work on that one too, man.
I'm gonna have both values, man. Put them over in my library.
And man, SP working on a book, man. Just to let you know. You know what I'm saying? You try to get that bag too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Why not, man? You know, and I'm working on a lot of things. I got some ideas for me and SP. We gotta get this money while we give out this free content. SP, man, what's going on, man? Let's end the show, man. What you got to promote and you know, positive quotes, words, whatever you got. You know, she always shuts it down politely. Sometimes she goes. SP.
I go ballistic.
What outro you got today? You know, give us some knowledge, man. What's up? Promote.
So yeah, go check out the formula. I've been having some connective issues with my internet. I've had to, so the new our new episode with Alex Kuchma will be out tomorrow at noon. But it's such a dope interview. This guy is from Canada and he's so hip hop. And he's so knowledgeable. And you will see this has been a couple of weeks that I've been kind of going through some internet stuff, but I finally got it figured out and it's going to be corrected. And I think the most positive thing I can say is, no matter how hard it gets, don't give up. It's always going to be sun's gonna come out eventually. So no matter how hard it gets, just know there's always something better on the other side. This is it's always like it's always like that big thunderstorm. After it's over, it's gonna be a rainbow. So just make sure that you don't let despair overtake you, and know it's better days coming.
Absolutely.
100%, man. I always lead off, man. Spread more love than hate, man. And if you didn't do it today, and hopefully you get a blessing to wake up in the next morning, man. Try it again. Spread some more love than you did yesterday, man. Because eventually, man, it's gonna all equivalent to you having a better sleep, or just a better quality of life, man. You probably gonna start getting those goals and dreams accomplished, and start doing things that you want, and then I always like to bring it to anybody, especially the Black community, man. Get that bag, but get the legal bag, man. Passive income. Yeah, you can work that one job, but you have time. You have time to work out. You have time to write a book. You have time to follow some type of dream or goal, or do merch, whatever you want to do on the side. Listen, the economy is not in our favor. Inflation's crazy. AI been here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they only share what they want to share. But anyway, I'm not gonna go get on that pedestal. But you know what I mean? Like, get other income. Passive income is way to go. Find something that you love and get that bag, man. This is the THHC podcast, episode 128. Thought Provokah, man. Oh my God, dude. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Review with SP, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate you coming on again, man. Thanks a lot, man. We getting out of here, man. All right, SP. Stop. Peace. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Boston.